now I have two webcams.
You have two what?
Webcams. Good job, Ringo. Good boy. Two webcams, B. Two webcams. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Oh, let's see. Why am I looking for a game back there? Let's see if I can see if we can capture something here. Should be capturing Microsoft Flight Simulator. Well, let's see. Come on, come on, come on. All right, let's see if we can fix this Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll stop, and then we'll turn it back on, see what it does. Oh, let me get my, I forgot to get my controller here. Interesting. Why do you not want to capture Microsoft Flight Simulator? Technical difficulties, always technical difficulties, always something. Let's see why. This is interesting. Very interesting. Let's go back. Let's switch off this and let's go back to splash screen real quick, and then we'll go live once more. So stand by. Okay, well, if it doesn't want to do it, then we'll just go in here and edit the properties. How's that? Oh, I gotcha. Let's see. Let's see if that does it. If the version of Microsoft Flight Simulator changes, as in an update, it looks like it will let's see, window display match. There we go. We're going to set that, and we're going to say done, and then let's see what happens here. Stop it. Turn it back on. Oh, wait a minute. What did it try to capture here? This? Yes, I see what it did. I see what it did. That is not correct. Not correct at all. All right, hold on one second here. Let's see if we can zoom this in. Let's take a look at this. Get rid of this. Unlock this. Remove. Yep, gonna remove you. All right, now I'm going to add another one in here. All right, let's see. Now, if I pick this, nope, that's not what I want to pick. Cancel. Why? Why does it only want to pick that? It's only trying to pick one of my monitors. And let's see what it does here. Let me go back here, minimize this. All right, and see if I can fix another full screen application here. All right, one more time. Capture, add source, new source. For some reason, it does not want to capture Microsoft Flight Simulator today. I want to capture a specific window. There we go. All right, I hope you guys can see that, I guess. All right, let's see if everything is in the right place now. How about me? Where's this game? All right, let's see. Hold on. I have to fix some layering issues now. All right, there's the instrument panel. Let's adjust this a little bit here. All right, we got that fixed up. Now, how about me? Ta-da! Here I am. All right. So now we can get this show on the road. So now that we've been sitting here with the battery power on, let's go ahead and kick that on right there. And let me go ahead and enlarge this. All right, now let's go here over here and start prepping some stuff up real quick. All right, so I want to pull this back and I want to move that. I want to do this and do that just a little bit right there. All right, now we're going to go back up here to the top. All right, let's kick this on. Let's kick our fuel on, and we got our two masters on. Let's go ahead and engage this. Let's get a starter going down here and come back down here and watch our engine startup procedure. All right, we're about 15. There we go. All right, and we got power. All right, let's go ahead and quiet this down a little bit so we can talk about what's going on here. Let's go ahead and get our door shut. While we're at it, let's go ahead and kick our alarm off. Okay, so, all right, guys, sorry about that. Another little snafu there. Anyway, hey, I'm Captain Seppi. I'm going to be your pilot today. We're on leg 5 of our journey around the world in a TBM 930. Today, we are going to go from Quebec to Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's going to be the flight for today. We're going to walk you through the entire thing here. We've got the plane started up. Just for grins and giggles, we're just going to go ahead and throw some fuel in here. We're going to be running for a while here, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into sim brief. We're going to file a flight plan from CYQB over to Halifax, and we're going to get all of that done. We're going to get our weather, CYQB. All right, let's start. Let's start. You guys can see this. How's that? Let's come over here. Can you see it? What? You can't see that either? Why not? All right, Microsoft Edge. Oh, good grief. Good grief. it's not one thing, that's another one. Where are you? Where are you? There. There. Now you guys can see that, right? All right. Okay. Good. Good, good. Good. You can see... All right, there we go. So we got a little program called Windy up there. We've got, and we're going to open Sky Vector. It should open another tab and then open Windy. All right, now. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to start. Hey, Captain Arash, how's it going? How's it going, Captain? We're going to be flying from Quebec to Halifax, and we're just starting. We're sitting on the ground in Quebec right now. We're just going to do a quick flight plan, and we will be getting the show on the road. This is what we've got going on right here, CYQB to CYHZ. All right, go back over here. Come back over here to SimBrief. Let's go over here to SimBrief. Let's create a new flight. And we're going to go, this is how you use SimBrief, all right? This is going to be a quick way to do it. Come in here. We're going to start here at the depart section, and we're going to type in here CYQB. This is where we are right now. Our arrival is going to be CYHZ. All right, and that's going to be Halifax. That's going to be today. We're going to depart 200 Zulu, 0200 Zulu. That's going to be here in about 30 minutes, so we'll go ahead and do that. The airframe I'm going to pick is my TBM 930, which I previously put in there. We're going to accept. We're going to accept everything, and it looks like we can pretty much go direct over there. So we're going to have one waypoint. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. Let's go ahead and take that. That waypoint is going to be FRENN. All right, FRENN. All right, we're going to make a note of that. And then we're going to go ahead and come up here, and we're going to click generate the official flight plan. And this is pretty much all you have to do. From here, you can print this off. Oh, nice, Captain Arash. That's nice. Going to be flying right over where you live. Wave at me. Wave at me when I go by. So here we are. This is the flight plan. You can print this off, or really all you need is the top information. Even when you're flying something like an A320 and you're going to have a lot of other information that's going to ask you for, like your cost index and everything like that, all that's going to be here in this one section over here on the right. You'll see CI for cost index, and you can go through here and it'll have zero fuel weight and it'll have some other stuff, but we're not going to do that today. That'll be on Friday when we're doing our FedEx Friday. We'll go over that again. So now that we have this and we're going to accept it, I'm going to go ahead and pre-file this on the VATSIM network because I like to fly on VATSIM. So we'll just go ahead. Oh, really? There we go. All right. All right, we got that. All right, so let's try this one more time. All right, here we go. So we did it. We went ahead and pre-filed. We have our call sign in there, and we have the altitude we're going to fly at. We might amend that. We might fly a little bit higher. It depends. We're going to see in just a moment, and I'm going to go ahead and file that flight plan. Now, if we look at windy over here, right, and we go up here to the top, and we type in CYQB, and we look at where we are, it's going to show us the airport, which you're going to see right here, and it also shows you which way the wind is blowing. All right, so this is, I'm flying with a TBM 930, Captain Arash. It's going to be a TBM 930. We can see the direction that the wind is traveling here, so we can determine what runways we want to use. We don't want to take off with a tailwind or a crosswind, so we'll probably take off with a headwind, and then we will spin around. So we will go ahead and make a note of this. And then for Halifax, let's go ahead and check that real quick. CYHZ. And let's look at Halifax, and here we are right here. All right, so we have a crosswind. It's really still not too bad as far as winds goes. We could take that crosswind. Of course, we could also take this runway, which would be maybe a little bit a wiser choice. Although it's a shorter runway, it'll really depend on what the overall weather looks like when we get over there. But now that we have that information, we kind of know what airports we want to be on. So let's jump back over into the cockpit. All right, and hello, here you go. You got my smiling face. Yep, you can download your flight plan and put it in windy. Since I'm not really making too many stops, it's just as easy to type it. At least then people will kind of understand. We'll cover that. We probably should cover that in one of our sessions on how to download and how to connect, all those through there, so that people can, understand, what that interaction is. So let's go ahead real quick here, and let's go ahead and get the flight plan information into the aircraft here. And we're going to also need to pick up some of our weather information here. So what I'm going to do, actually the best way for me to do this is like this, so you guys can see it. All right. Now, I have an instrument panel, so I'm going to be doing stuff here on my instrument panel, and you guys can watch it up there. And what I'm going to do is which I've already hit, is the button here for the multi-function display, the MFD, and I can then make some adjustments here to the MFD, such as zooming in and out. We can go ahead and get an idea of our airport and stuff here. But let's get our flight plan in here. So I'm going to go into flight plan, and I'm going to add our origin, and our origin is going to be Charlie, Yankee, Quebec, Bravo. All right, and then I'm going to enter that into our flight plan, and then our destination. Our destination is going to be Charlie, Yankee, Hotel, Zulu. That is right, correct? Charlie, Yankee, Hotel, Zulu. Yep, Charlie, Yankee, Hotel, Zulu, and that's Halifax. All right, and then we can verify that actually by kind of looking at our map here. We can zoom in and we can kind of see where we're going to fly. So that looks good, right? That's where That's where we want to go, right there. So Quebec to Halifax. Then the next thing that we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to enter our en route waypoint. So I'm going to click add an en route waypoint. And then our en route waypoint was Foxtrot, Romeo, Foxtrot, Romeo, and Echo, November, November. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Early date. Hi, Joe. Joined forces a while. Hey, Marty. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by, Marty. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks, Captain Arash. It's Air Manager, and this is, I made these instruments. So I programmed in Lua all the instruments. And if we get I'm going to fix this for one of the next flights, but you can kind of see I have all my instruments over here on this. Just what you're seeing in the cockpit, the same thing that you're seeing in the cockpit up there on the instrument panel, I have it here on a touch screen. So I've got the PFD, and here I've got the G3000. So that's actually a G1000 that's pretending it's a G3000. I got my radio stack, I got my Bravo, and I've got my Alpha here, and then I have a 22-inch touchscreen monitor that has all the other instruments on. So I got the Garmin 710 at the top, and then I have the G3000 PFD, and then I've got the 580 here, and my parking brake, and then my backup instrument. So, all right, so we got this in here. Let's enter that into our waypoint. So now we've got another waypoint in there. And then I have a knob down here that controls all my knob functions. So I can, like the zoom function here, you know, there's no knob on a touchscreen, although I could rotate it with my finger. I've got a knob here that controls the zoom, so it's like, you know, so it feels like I'm actually doing something. All right, so that looks good. So we validated that the information that we put in there, you know, looks correct. And the next thing that I'm going to do here, since I fly on the VATSIM network, I'm going to go ahead and connect, and I'm going to set up my my call sign here. So my call sign that I use is always November 65 Juliet Whiskey, and my type is going to be a TBM9. TBM9. We'll go ahead and get that in there, and pick that right here, and then connect. And let's see if we have any controllers in range. And currently there are none. Currently, we don't have any controllers available. All right, so I went ahead and fetched my flight plan. Let's see, there is CZEG. Looks like CZEG Center is online. So let's see where they are. Oh, looks like we may talk to them. CZUL. CZUL. CZEG. I don't see a UL. Let's pop this up here so you guys can see Man, none of the overlays want to work today for some reason. Every single one of the overlays looks like it is giving me grief. Yeah, man, everything. Everything hates me today, guys. Everything hates me today. All right, well, we're going to make the best of it. So SimToolkit does not want to throw an overlay up there. Let's go ahead and look at our charts. So I can bring charts up here through my touchscreen, and we can go ahead and look at those. If I go over to procedures, right, and I can look at departure procedures. Well, first let's do this. Let's go back, right, because we're not sure yet. You remember? We're actually not sure. So let's go ahead and bring charts up, and let's look at the airport. All right, so here's an airport chart, and I can bring that up here. And we were looking at this, and we saw the direction that the winds were coming from. So we know the winds were coming straight, like they were like this, right? And that means that we're going to want to take off on runway 24. Okay. So I'm going to get me a piece of paper here. I'm going to start taking notes. So we're going to do 24. And that being said, now let's go over and let's look at departures. And if I scroll down and look at some departures, right? No. Let's see if we can find a departure that we like. So this one essentially, if you look at this, this takes off a runway 6 and goes to Sebit. And if we look at this one does similar, and this one and this one. Want to find something, so we could use this, right? We could use go XEV, and we could take off, and then we could turn and go towards Viux if we needed to, if the weather required that we do that. But look, it's a beautiful clear day. It's a beautiful clear day. It's awesome. And I'm using real weather. I just backed the weather. I just backed the time of the day up. All right, so we could fly in daylight, because I stream at night, and you guys don't want to see like complete pitch blackness all the time. So you know, we'll just back the clock up a couple hours. So that being said, right? That being said, and we don't have any controllers really in here. Let's jump down here to our nav and comm, and we're just going to go ahead and do VFR, but we're going to follow that that flight plan. All right. And what we will do, since we're going to do that, and the direction of flight that we're in, if you split the compass in half and you fly from 0 to 180, what altitude do you fly at? Throwing it out there for the guys. Anybody know? If you're flying east on any direction of travel from 0 to 180, what altitude would you fly at if you were VFR? Odd. fly at an odd altitude. If you're flying from 180 back up to the other way, or I should say from like 1 degree to like 179 degrees, I guess, or 180 degrees, you're going to fly odd. And then if you're going the other way, east is least, odd plus 500. Yeah. East is least. Or the way I learned it, the way I remembered it, is to go east is odd, to go west is even odder. Now I know that sounds really weird, but to go east is odd, right? So it's an odd plus 500, and to go west, it's even. You just got to remember that. I know it's a weird thing to remember. So we're gonna fly. We're gonna fly at 7,500. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna click on my altitude select, and we're gonna go ahead and set an altitude right now for 7,500. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get that set up. Now let's jump back over here to our radios real quick, and since we're on VATSIM, let's go ahead and fly, let's go ahead and do Unicom. So that's going to be 122.8. And we'll go ahead and call our traffic and everything as we go. So 122.8, get that in there, and go ahead and swap that frequency over there. So now we're on 122.8. Let's jump back over here to our MFD. So what do we have now? Everything looks good. All our instruments look good, right? All our gauges look good. Everything is in the green. We got our flight plan set up. That didn't take too long, and we know where we're going. We know what altitude we are going to fly at, and we looked at our weather, right? We looked at our weather and we got that. Now we can go and do a weather briefing. Unfortunately, Sim Toolkit for some reason is not wanting to pop up when I try to share it. So right now we're winds are 240 at 10. Let's see, 210, 220. Winds are 220 at 11, gusting to 18. So we're going to take off on 24. All right, and then while we're here, let me go ahead and get set up for our other one. That's going to be CYHZ for Halifax. I'm going to go ahead and populate that in here. So I have it, and Halifax right now is 280 at 8 knots, 15 statute miles visibility. So everything kind of looks good over there. So that being said, let's go ahead and get the show on the road, huh? Let's go ahead and get this flight started. All right, everybody. Buckle your seatbelts, and we will start our journey. Now, what I'm going to do too, this is kind of cool, right? I'm not familiar with this airport. I just flew in here one time and I came over here and parked. I'm going to go back over here to my charts, and I'm going to go over here to info, and I'm going to go to airports, and I'm going to pull up the airport chart. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in on it. All right, and it's going to show where I am, and you can kind of see it. I'm up there at the top corner. I'm actually in parking spot number 1. So it looks like I'm going to be taxiing out Delta, and then I'll probably go to Echo. So can I turn completely around here? Let's see. Let's go ahead and jump into an external view here, and let's check our surroundings. We got somebody standing over there. We got somebody standing over there. So I'm going to swing around to the right, and basically we're going to head that way. We're going to head there, and then we're going to come out on 24, and then we're going to spin around, and we're going to start our journey at Halifax. Aim for the fuel truck. Nice, preacher. I am not going to aim for a fuel truck. We do not want our passengers to catch on fire here, do we? All right, everybody's ready. Let's see, cockpit's ready. And I got my radios tuned in. I got everything set up. I got my fuel tank set up. What I do not do is I did not turn my autopilot on. That would not have been a good one. Let's check our instruments over here and make sure the position of our switches are all good. So I got automatic fuel selector on. So we're going to be changing fuel tanks automatically. And we've got our starters off, our batteries on. I don't need any lights. We have our beacon light on. We're going to turn our taxi light on. Our nav lights, we're going to turn all those, go ahead and get all those on. Let's jump back down here to the pilot instruments and let's look at the warnings that we have over here on the panel. And the panel is telling us right now that if I look at my own, we have no stall heat, no heat on. We'll go ahead and turn that. It tells us the parking brake is on and that the bleed is off. So let's go ahead and get the bleed on. We'll put that on auto right there. And then we'll just back over here and check our instruments. Looks like everything otherwise is on. And we'll get make sure all these switches are on. Our parking brake is on, and everything looks good. All right. That being said, I'm going to come back. I don't need the parking map on over here, so I'm going to go home and I'm going to go back to my map, and we can then follow our plan like that. So let's get this turned around. All right. So parking brake's coming off. All right. So the parking brake's off. There we go. Parking brake warning went out. All right, give it a little bit of throttle. All right, we move forward. We got a little bit of throttle. We just want to touch the right brake a little bit. So I'm stepping on the right brake a little bit, and we're turning to the right, so I know the right brake works. And then I'm going to try my left brake over here. All right, we've got ourselves turned around. And now I'm going to step on my left brake. Yep, left brake works. Oh, I did not want to make a complete stop. You don't really need to do that. There's no reason to make a complete stop. Oh, dang, look at this guy just pulled out in front of us. How do you like that? Now we made a complete stop. He's going to go over there and talk to those guys. Chucklehead. How do you like that? I should have aimed for his truck. All right, there's no reason to do a brake check, and come to a complete stop when you test the brakes. So just a nice little, step on the toe brakes, and that should be all that's required. All right, we'll go ahead and give a call. I don't see any other aircraft over here. But we'll go ahead and give a call on Unicom, just in case there's anybody in the VATSIM network around here and they're coming in or getting ready to go. November 65 Juliet Whiskey to Quebec traffic. We are taxiing Delta to runway 24. And I actually said that backwards. I should have said Quebec traffic, November 65 Juliet Whiskey. All right, I got my inertial dampers on. You turn your inertial dampers on. The TBM 930 is a turboprop. That's kind of like a jet engine with a propeller. When you're taxiing down the taxiway, the inertial dampers closes off the intake that's in front of the engine in case there's any debris on the taxiway, such as gravel or paper, cans, anything like that might blow around the airport. You're not going to suck it into the turbine and damage the engine. So when you're taxiing, you turn the inertial dampers on, and then when you get ready to take off, you can turn the inertial dampers off. All right, we're going to go ahead and put flaps 1 in. I don't see any other aircraft down here approaching. We're going to approach the takeoff end of the runway. All right, Captain Arash, thank you. You know, thanks for hanging around and watching. It's greatly appreciated. It really is. Guys that are in here, if you have not checked out Captain Arash on Twitch, be sure that you go check out his channel. He's a great streamer, good friend, a lot of great information on his channel. So be sure to check him out as well. All right, so here we are at the hold short of runway 24, so we have to stop here, and we're going to take a look around here. So let's jump back in and let's kind of look outside, see what we got. I don't see anybody coming in there. I do not see anybody coming in here. So we're going to go ahead and make our radio call. Quebec traffic, November 65, Juliet Whiskey, on runway 24, ready for takeoff. We'll be departing to the east. All right, so here we go. We're on the runway. Time for us to make our final checks. We got our flaps down. Everything is good. All the engine instruments are in the green. We got our flight plan in. We have our autopilot switch turned on. We've got our bleed on. We've got our pitot heat on. We have our lights all on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the landing light, turn off the taxi lights, and the doors are locked. Everything looks good, so let's roll. Quebec traffic, November 65, Juliet Whiskey, taking off runway 24. All right, airspeed is alive. Time to rotate. All right, positive rate of climb, gear coming up. Flight director's on, yaw damper's on. Alright, we're going to go ahead and make our turn. Alright, flaps coming up. Autopilot coming on. Nav mode. Go ahead and set our vertical speed. Oops. There we go. All right, we'll make our climb up to 7,500. All right, autopilot's making our turn to the right to intercept our course to our first and only waypoint of this flight, which is going to be Fren.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, hey, hey.
I just heard myself
Nice.
with a delay.
You gonna join us?
That hurts my head.
You gonna join us on this flight? You gonna fly with us? Gonna be my wingman?
Nah, I'm going to take it easy this evening. Nah, I'm watching you lead the show.
Awesome, awesome.
I'm trying to figure out where the mouse clicking is coming from.
Do you hear clicking now?
Yes.
Interesting. Montreal is calling me 128.77. So let's jump over here. 128. Let's go ahead and tune my radio. 128.77. All right, 128.77. We'll go ahead and flip that radio frequency over. Montreal Center, November 6-5 Juliet Whiskey with you at 4,500, climbing to 7,500.
65 Jet Whiskey, Montreal, good evening. For your info, Quebec is part of Montreal airspace, so you should have called me for IFR clearance.
Oh, okay. I looked on VATSIM, but it didn't show that there was anybody online for some reason, but okay.
Okay, sounds good. Squawk 0355 in ident.
All right, gonna squawk 0355 and ident 65 Juliet Whiskey. All right, guys, so we are going to come over here, and he asked us to squawk, so let's adjust my screen here so you can see this. All right, and I'm just gonna come over here and hit this, and he said squawk 03. Oops. I want to go that, and we're gonna do 0355, and I'm altitude reporting, and I'm on 5. There we go, and enter. And then he asked us to ident, so I'm going to ident.
65 Juliet Whiskey, red line 5, 6,200 feet, climb to 7,000. You're clear to Halifax, Asphalt, maintain 7,000.
All right, climb to 7,000, maintain 7,000, cleared to Halifax, 65 Juliet Whiskey. All right, so let's adjust our altitude then to 7,000. So you see, you can't, squawk Alt F4. So you see, you can't always trust VATSIM. VATSIM said, I pulled it up, I looked at it, and it said that there was no controllers, but when I pulled up Sim Toolkit Pro, it said that the area was being controlled, but VATSIM said it didn't. So I kind of hedged back and forth there for a moment, and then I just decided to go with VATSIM and listen to that, and maybe that wasn't necessarily the right choice. All right, so what I can do is, let's see if this works, guys. Can you see? Okay. So that's Navigraph. I pulled Navigraph up. That is working, and you can see what the flight plan looks there, and the little pink arrow is...
Jazz 8507, order at 1, descend to 6000.
Montreal, was that 65 Juliet Whiskey?
Negative. Jazz 8501, Montreal.
You vote for my choice.
Would you like Jazz 8501 to follow as well, down to 6,000?
Affirmative, 8501 down to 6000, order at 1, 6000.
Roger, down to 6,000 for Jazz 8501.
Order at 1, read back down to 6.
Down to 6, Hornet 1.
All right, so let's see what we got out here today.
Order at 1, when Jazz 8501 has been clear for the ILS, you'll be clear for the low approach, not below. You will be maintaining 2,000 feet on the low approach. And brake will be to the left for a left downwind runway to far left.
Roger, Hornet 1.
There's not too much in Canada, is there? It's pretty. It's pretty, but there's not too much.
Jazz 8501, descend to 3,000 feet via Sloka. You are clear for the ILS approach runway to far left.
Roger, down to 3,000. Sorry, down to 3,000 and via Sloka, and then we'll continue for the ILS 24 left for Jazz 8501.
Order at 1, descend to 3,000.
Send 3,000, Hornet 1.
All right. So everything looks good. Weather looks good. Just double check that. The weather looks good for the rest of the flight there. We've got a controller. Montreal Center is going to be with us for a little while. So we've got our frequency set up. We've got everything set up, and everything looks good. So here we are. We'll just and somebody tell the kid's mom he's up too late. Oh, you'd be amazed at the people that you hear on VATSIM. I mean, from little kids to old people and everything in between. From girls, boys, men, women. It's the whole gambit, which is awesome. Because the VATSIM network, if you guys don't know, if you've never tried the VATSIM network, so the VATSIM network replicates air traffic control and around the world, and the controllers, they learn all the procedures just like they normally would, right? If you're going to fly into, for example, Memphis, right? You have clearance and delivery controllers, if they're online, right? They may not all be online, but you have a clearance and delivery controller, you have a ground controller, you have a tower controller, you have an approach controller, you have a departure, and then you have your center or your en route, controller. And you could be handed off technically to all of those if you get someplace busy. So busy places, Boston, Atlanta, those places have controllers there all the time, and they're not just for that airport. So Atlanta's airspace covers many states, part of Tennessee, all the way up, I guess, into South Carolina, maybe part of North Carolina, of course, all of Georgia, part of Alabama. So it's a pretty big area. The same thing with, like Boston covers a significant area, and it's pretty cool when you get someplace where everybody is online, and you just keep getting handed off, just like just like you would with with a normal controller. Now, that being said, if there's only one. So Montreal Center called me earlier and said, hey, you should have called me. Okay. Yep. Technically, I should have, because if Center is the only one that's online, that's the top of the pyramid. So if that one person is online, then he is doing all the positions below him. So he is clearance and delivery, tower, ground, approach, departure, and center. He's doing them all. They just don't do stuff above them. So if there's a clearance and delivery person online, that's the only thing they're doing. The only thing they do is clearance and delivery. Then the next one is ground. So that ground person, if he's the only one online, then he's going to do his job, ground. He's also going to do clearance and delivery. And if there's a tower person online, then you can see now that the tower person does ground, or can do ground, and also do clearance and
November
delivery.
65 Juliet Whiskey, contact Boston 1347, have a good flight.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. So I'll be contacting Boston on 134.765 Juliet Whiskey. All right, so he handed us off to Boston, so we're going to tune here to 134 and 700. All right, and we'll press that frequency. We'll swap over to that one, and then we'll reach out to Boston. Boston Center, November 65 Juliet Whiskey with you at 7,000 feet.
November 65 Juliet Whiskey, Boston Center, good evening. The Millinocket altimeter 3024.
All right, I got that barometer 3024. Thank you, 65 Juliet Whiskey. Good evening. All right, so he gave us that, and what I'll do is I'll pop in my barometer here, and I'll adjust that to 3024, and that is an adjustment from 3018, which I had when I was at Quebec. And actually, I made that change, and I didn't talk about it. So that's one of the other things that you want to do as well. You need to set your altimeter. You need to set your barometer, right? You get that off of the MEDAR. You remember when I was reading the MEDAR and I was reading the winds off of that, and I was saying the winds were at this speed and they were gusting to this. Well, in there's a remark that starts with the letter A, and in particular it said A3018, and that's altimeter 3018. When I was reading that wind information off, just automatically I just clicked it and set it. I think we were talking about running over a fuel truck or something like that, and I neglected to to bring that up to you guys. Also, the reason why we're talking to Boston now is if I bring up my Navigraph chart and we zoom in here and look, we can see Maine, right? So Boston will control the U.S. airspace. Montreal will control the Canadian airspace. So we just crossed over into Maine, and when we did, Montreal sent us over to a U.S. controller. Now, it very may be likely that when we come out the other side, that Boston sends us back over to Montreal. That is a very real possibility, unless there's another controller on the other side. All right. Halifax. So Halifax, I was just pulling it up on my my MFD. So let's go ahead, let's go back here and let's take a look at this. So what we want to do is we want to always be looking ahead, right? We want to, and looking ahead, now we should be looking towards Halifax. Now I know we're not even at the halfway point yet. So technically, we should be looking at things like maybe if we had an issue at this point, where would we go? Would we go to, another airport nearby? Well, I mean, we have a lot of options in regards to that we can do. Like we can choose direct to, and we can choose some things like that if we needed to change that at this point. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at a chart, and interestingly enough, when I went to charts, I've got it. Okay, so here we go. So we do have it. It did pull up. So initially I had a chart data failure, right? And it wasn't, it didn't show me the chart information. Now it does.
Chronos 20, turn left on Bravo, taxi to parking, good night.
All right, so here's the airport. We saw from looking at Windy earlier that the wind actually favored us landing on runway 32. So let's go ahead and make a note of that, right? So when we're in Halifax, we want, unless it changes, we want runway 32. Now we could take 05 or 23, maybe, but it was favoring most definitely runway 32. So if
November, question Crystal 885 Boston Center.
Wow. I just had a power failure. How do you like that?
Thank you.
In-flight power failure.
Boston Center, November 128 at 900,000.
November 1128 Boston Center, good evening. Portsmouth altimeter 3027, clear direct Portland Airport.
Alright, clear direct Portland Airport, November 128.
That's interesting.
November 66 Mike, cross Basie at and maintain 8000, the Stewart altimeter 3028.
So coming back over here, an easy way to do this is if we come back over here and we look at Navigraph and we look at our arrival airport, our destination, and we look at the arrivals, you can click the eyeball, okay? And it will show you.
Number 66 Mike, it was cross Basie at a maintain 8,000.
It will show you all the arrivals. Okay? So here's all the arrivals. Likely, the one that we would take that closely matches our flight is the MINUS one. MINAS1 arrival. All right, let's keep that in mind. All right, and that's a star. That's a standard instrument approach if we needed to do that. And let's look at if we're going to land on runway 32. Does 32 have anything? It's got an RNAV. It's got an RNAV-Y and an RNAV-Z. All right, so an RNAV approach is not a precision approach, not like an ILS, right? ILS is very precision. RNAV uses GPS. It's not so precise. And the difference between a Z and a Y is popularity, so to speak. Z is more popular than Y. If we look at the Z and we bring a chart up, right? It's telling us, it's showing us this purple line right here, this purple line, right? So this is the RNAV approach right here. And it starts at Vokil. All right, the approach starts at Vokil.
American 381 Boston Center, gate evening, descend and maintain for level 230.
But we probably don't need it. If the weather's going to be good, then we'll make a visual approach. Right? But there's the chart.
Crystal Air 85, contact Bradley, approach 123.905. Have a good night. You too, thanks. November 128, the Portland altimeter 3026. Expect vectors visual approach, runway 11.
We'll expect the visual runway 11 November 128.
All right, so that being said, we can see what arrivals are available. We just looked at that, and we made note of which one is going to
Nope, you're all good, thanks.
benefit us the best for that, which is going to be the MINUS arrival, and then the RNAV-Z for runway 32. So now we did a little bit of homework, and we got some of that stuff out of the way. So now let's go back over here and let's drop that out so you guys can see that.
American 381, descend via the Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 22 left, the Boston altimeter 3028. November 128, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain 5,000.
Alright, 5,000 November 128.
All right, put the map back up there, and we'll zoom. We're at 50 nautical miles. Let's see, we're almost to our waypoint. Well, actually, no, we're 100 nautical miles from our waypoint. Cooking right along. At Mach 0.399. How do you like that? In a single engine prop. Mach 0.399. True airspeed of 257 knots with a ground speed of 272 knots.
Number 66, Mike, leaving my airspace, New York approach for LaGuardia is offline. Radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Have a great flight. See ya. Sedation 1 Mike Alpha Austin Center, hello, the Providence altimeter 3028.
We might actually have a sunset going, see a sunset, a Canadian sunset again. That might be kind of cool. Nope, I did that, Marty. Yep. So let me show you that again. First, let me pop back in so it's not so loud, and then let me bring up Navigraph here. And that's what I did.
The number 128 Portland Airport, 12 o'clock, 19 miles. Report the field insight.
So here with Navigraph, right?
Roger, we will report in November 128.
With Navigraph, what I did is, what you're looking at here is I superimposed the approach. So we're looking at the RNAV Zulu for runway 32, and I superimposed that onto my flight plan here. You can do that by clicking this eyeball. So if I get rid of this, right, this is the way most people see Navigraph. And if I want to look at what those stars are that Marty was talking about, you can come over here to the arrival.
Number 128, descend and maintain 3000.
If you know what
Descend and maintain 3000, November 128.
if you know what arrival you want, you can pick that. If you don't know what arrival you want, if you click the eye, that's this eyeball right here, it shows you them all. So here's the Fundy 5, here's the Peggy 5, and we have the Lurlis, or the Lurla 5, the Cabot 5, and the Menace 1. Now, you can see my direction of travel, right? So here's my flight plan, and this is my one and only waypoint, and then here is my approach into Halifax. If you didn't know what arrival to choose, you could just click this eye, and you could see which one best matches it. And just as an example, the Peggy 5, that's down here. That doesn't match my flight plan. Neither.
The number 128 airport, 12 o'clock and 12 miles.
Neither does the Fundy 5. That doesn't match my plan. The Lyra 5 does not, nor does the Cabot 5. But the Menace 1, that's just about matching my flight plan. And many times, your flight plan will be right on this line.
The number 128 airport, 12 o'clock, 1 miles. Reported in sight.
So in this particular case, right, in this particular case, this approach, the Menace 1, or this arrival, I'm sorry, this arrival
American 632 Boston Center, good evening.
would be the one that we would choose. we would intercept this, and this would bring us into the airport. And the same thing holds true for the approaches, right? If I get rid of these and I come over here to
Delta 409 Boston Center, good evening. Climb and maintain bar level 210.
I can select an approach if I know,
November 1128 radio check.
or I can click the eyeball, and the eyeball does the same thing, right?
For sure, November 128, turn left, heading 310, vector ILS runway 11 approach, maintain 3000.
So the RNAV Yankee, right, is this, and if I click on it, you know, I can overlay it.
And heading 290.
American 2412 Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 180.
This is the Zulu, and this makes more sense, right? This makes
American
more sense for me.
2412, fly heading 270.
Because you remember the Menace 1 was out here.
November 128, turn left, heading 300.
Then I can superimpose that chart right on top of it, right? And then this lets me know the additional information that I need to know. Like I need to be, I can go to GAPAP, right? And I need to be at 4,000 feet.
Center 394 Boston Center, hello,
max
climb and
210
maintain bar level 280.
I need to be at 3,000 feet as I approach Vokil.
November 1 Mike Golf, traffic 4 o'clock, 2 miles, a southeastbound MD-80, flight level 210. They're going to be starting their descent very shortly. Let me know if you pick them up.
And then I start the RNAV, right? And it's on
American 381, traffic 11 o'clock, 10 miles, a southeastbound, citation 17,200. How long until you start down?
So it also gives me some additional information down on the lower section.
American 381, roger. How long until you start down?
Recommended that I be at 3,000 feet. When I get to VATSIM, this is when I'm going to actually start my my descent.
Okay, so are you going to be starting down like in the next couple minutes, you think? Okay, thanks. Number 128, descend and maintain 2,500. The number 1 Mike Golf, descend and maintain VFR outdoor below 15,500. That'll keep you clear of the previously mentioned traffic. November 128, turn right heading 080, intercept the localizer, descend and maintain 2,500. Delta 1856 Boston Center, hello, climb and maintain flight level 320.
All right, let's
Delta 409, descend via the Roebuck 3 arrival, runway 22 left, the Boston altimeter 3028. November 0 Charlie Foxtrot, cross Bayesiat and maintain 8,000, the Stewart altimeter 3028. Zero Charlie Foxtrot, cross Bayesiat and maintain 8,000. November 128, 6 miles from Mena, maintain 2,500 until established on the localizer, clear ILS runway 11 approach.
It's getting kind of busy, isn't it? You can see how busy air traffic control can get. Now, we can hear air traffic control, but we can't hear those other aircraft. That's realistic too, because we might not hear those. We're not within range of those other aircraft. So we're only hearing one side of the conversation. Very common. Very, very common.
American 381, Roger. You'll be mostly clear that you actually pretty much are clear of the traffic. They're at your 1 o'clock and 3 miles southeastbound, 15,500. There'll be no factor for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
November 5, correction, November 1 Mike Golf, clear the traffic, and the Providence altimeter 3028.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Thanks for the help.
They're pretty professional.
If you want to go back up now, resume appropriate PA for altitudes, November 1 Mike Golf. Thank you. November 128, wind is calm, runway 11, clear to land. Welcome.
I went the wrong way on my backup.
American 2412, climb and maintain flood level 220.
All right, there we go. We fixed it.
Response there, Delta 1856. Giving a touch wave for about 5 minutes.
Delta 1856, approved as requested. Let me know when you're back.
We'll contact when we're back. Delta 1856.
Yeah, Marty, I haven't flown. I've only flown to Boston a few times. Usually it's on FedEx Friday, and I'm flying in one of my FedEx flights. So on Friday,
American 381, contact Boston approach 133.0. Good night.
I stream my FedEx flights when I fly for FedEx Virtual, and I fly out of the Anchorage hub. So
November 0 Charlie Foxtrot, leaving my airspace. New York approach is closed for LaGuardia. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. You have a good night.
most of the time I'm flying turboprops, around Alaska, but every once in a while
Excuse me, thanks.
I fly an A320. And here lately, most especially, I've been flying the A320. So I just flew from Memphis.
November 5 Juliet Whiskey, leaving my airspace. Moncton Center is closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night.
All right, we'll be going over to Unicom. Thank you, sir. Have a great night. 6-5 Juliet Whiskey.
Same to you, thanks.
All right.
November 1 Mike Golf, expect runway 24 Nantucket altimeter 3030.
All right, so it's going to get quiet for us now. It basically just told us that the next air traffic control, the next center, is closed at this time. It's unstaffed. There's nobody there. So we don't have anybody to talk to, which means that we go back over to Unicom, Unicom being 122.8, and we're responsible for our own communications, which means that now we need to pay attention to what's going on. We'll continue to fly the flight plan that we have, so we'll be maintaining 7,000 feet, and here as we get closer to our next waypoint, or when we pass Fresnes, then we'll start looking a little bit more at the approach that we're going to make into Halifax, and we'll start checking our weather, getting weather updates. We'll adjust our altimeter for Halifax and for the weather that's here, and that will be the end of the fifth leg of our around the world journey. We got a couple more stops in North America. We will be running up to Goose Bay, actually, after Halifax. I think we have one more stop, or maybe we do run the Goose Bay next. I would have to check the flight plan on our Discord server, but we are going up to Goose Bay. Then after Goose Bay, we're going a little bit further north in Alaska, and then we're making the jump over to Greenland. And from Greenland, we'll make the jump over to Iceland, and then from Iceland, we'll make the jump over into Norway or Denmark. Not sure going that far. I think it's Norway is where we're going to go. But then after that, we'll be following the west coast of Europe and the west coast of Africa, all the way down around the Horn, up the east coast of Africa, into Southeast Asia across the bottom, and then we will fly over to Australia and down around the coast of Australia, west to east, and then up and then through Japan and Asia, and then up into Russia, and then across over to Alaska, and down the west coast of the United States through Mexico, Central America, South America, around the bottom of South America, up the east coast, of South America, and then through the Caribbean, back into Florida, and then we'll make our way up the coast until we get to Jacksonville, and then from Jacksonville we will be running back home to Nashville, where we started. And that is going to be our flight, about 250 legs. So it's going to be quite some time. We should see, we should see some interesting things. As well, we're going to try to fly the entire thing on the VATSIM network. We're going to try to fly the entire thing with real weather. Of course, we may adjust the time like we just did today, because it actually is dark over here now. And if I was flying real time, then we would see darkness. Oh, Captain Arash, the flight is going good. It's going good, my friend. We had air traffic control, Montreal. Montreal handed us off to Boston. Of course, now we're back into Canadian airspace, and there are no controllers over here, so we're on the Unicom network. We are approaching our first waypoint, our first and only waypoint, which was Fren, Foxtrot Romeo Echo November. We are about, how far are we from Fren? Just a little under, we're about 35 nautical miles, I guess. Oh, 32.5. We're 32.5 nautical miles from Fren, and then we will be headed in towards Halifax. But yeah, we're back in Canada right now. Must be very close to Frederickson. Let's see. Let me pop Navigraph up over here. Maybe we can see it there, and I'll get rid of my charts here. We don't need to look at these. We'll look at these in a moment. And here we are right here. Oh yeah, you're right. Look at that. Here we are. Yep. We're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close. If we look outside, let's go ahead and jump outside and take a look there. And there's the river. Awesome, Captain Arash. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for waving. I'll be looking for you. I'm going to leave it like this for a moment until I see your arms sticking out, waving at me as we fly over. Yeah, we're as you can see, we're approaching. We're approaching pretty close. So there's a little bend in the river. So probably right there. So here's which looks like this right here. If we're looking out the window, that part looks like this part right here. So we're just about a beam of that. And here's the little squiggly, which is this part right here. And this would be Fredericton. Is that Fredericton? Right here. This is downtown Fredericton. Fredericton. Okay. Awesome. Here you go, Captain Arash. I'll rock my wings for you as I go by. Hello, sir. Thank you for being in the stream. It is much, much appreciated. That is awesome. You guys don't forget to follow the stream. I don't have enough Twitch subscribers for anybody to subscribe yet, so you can't subscribe, but one day, and it's not something that I'm necessarily worried about. I'm here to have fun and enjoy, but if you follow, you'll receive notifications. Please join the Discord, and I post information there. Captain Arash, are you still with me? Did you see the DC-3 that I found? Did you see that? Oh, nice. Nice. You've flown there in real life. Nice. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Had no idea. And it lives there all the time. It lives there all the time. They fly it like every 10 days. Every 10 days they're down. They start the engines. They go through it. And if there's people there, they'll take them on a flight. It's 100% original. It is 85 years old. It was the 21st DC-3. Let me go back inside. It's a little bit noisy here. It was the 21st DC-3 that American Airlines ever purchased. They received it in 1938. Can you believe that? They received it in 1938. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've got pictures of it on my Discord channel. I've shared some out. Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you how you fly on it. They have a website, and they're an all volunteer organization. The gentleman that owns the airplane is an American Airlines 777 pilot. And he found the airplane several years ago, and he purchased it. Again, it's all original. There's nothing on that airplane that's ever been replaced except for one floorboard inside the cabin. That's it. Everything else is all original on that airplane. And to have it still flying today and flying all the time, it's one of the only DC-3s that flies on a regular basis in the entire world. And it is in immaculate condition. He started a group, and you can join the group for $100. For $100, you can be a member of the group. It's an all-volunteer group. That money goes to help maintain the aircraft, and everybody that's a member gets a free flight on it. A free flight. All you gotta do is just show up, and you go there. They have different levels of membership. You can get like a gold membership. Now it's expensive. The gold membership is like $7,500. You get a gold membership, and you can be a member of the crew. You can sit up front in the cockpit. And oh, by the way, they don't restrict your access. Anybody that flies on the aircraft, as soon as the aircraft takes off, you are able to move about the cabin. You can come to the cockpit. You can take pictures. You can talk to them. You can watch them. You can do anything. You can crawl all over the thing. But you can be an actual member of the crew. And then if you're a platinum member, which I don't know, costs $10,000 or something like that, they will actually train you to be a pilot. You will actually get a rating in the DC-3. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, it's a year. It's a year, Captain Arash. A year. You pay $100, and that money, 100% of it goes towards maintenance of the aircraft, and you get a free ticket. You get a free ticket on it. Wherever it goes. And it travels all around the U.S., so you don't have to come to Tennessee. It lives here. This is where it stays 6 months out of the year during the summer. In the wintertime, they move it to Florida, and they put it in a hangar, and it stays in a hangar all winter. But they do 25 air shows a year. 25 air shows a year all around the United States. They fly to every one of them. And if there's members there, members get the first ticket. They get the first seat. Priority. You get priority. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I'm going to do it. Let me see if... let me see if... let me flip over here real quick. Let me open a browser real quick. I had some issue with this with this earlier, and I gotta find how I started this. There. You got? Do we have a browser? Yep, you got a browser. So I had SkyVector, and then let me come over here and let me do a search, and it's called the DC3, and it's at KSYI, right? And we do a photo of that's flight aware. DC3. This is what's the? I was trying to remember what the. Let's see. It was called Flagship Detroit. DC3 Flagship Detroit. This is it. This is it right here. So this is it, right? And then they have all the information here. So if you go to flagshipdetroit.org, flagshipdetroit.org, you can see all the information. And if you go down here and you look at, is it under donate, right? Or join us, become a member. Yeah, annual membership. Look at this. Look at this. All members receive an opportunity to ride aboard the flagship at a flying event. In addition, all current members are invited to ride on positioning flights throughout the year on a space available basis. So a positioning flight is, for example, they're here in at their home base, and they're going to go to an air show in Boston. That positioning flight, if there's space available, I can ride on it if I'm a member. And that's $100 a year. I can take that there. And here's the other levels that I was talking about. Here's the gold, right? The gold, you can be considered to be a cockpit crew member. Platinum, the role of PIC. Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's a beautiful, it's such a beautiful plane. Beautiful, beautiful plane. And they have the entire history. I mean, look at this. This is the original picture of the original aircraft at Chicago Municipal Airport in 1938. That's a picture from 1938. And here is a picture from 2018 in Fort Worth, Texas at the American Airways hangar. Beautiful. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But the history is here and everything. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so now let's get back over here on our flight plan because we got some thinking to do. All right, how far are we? We're 100 nautical miles, so we're within 100 nautical miles. So we looked at our approach, and we know that we're not going to be not going to have any controllers available to us, so we're not going to have to deal with that. The weather is good, so I don't necessarily have to do an instrument approach. We could do a visual approach. Okay, yep. Thank you, Captain Arash. Thank you, sir, very much for stopping and watching the stream. Lurking around for a little bit is very, very much appreciated. I thank you very much, and I'll see you on your stream as soon as I can. Have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, sir. I'll do it. Thank you. Thanks for waving, too, when I went by. All right, Marty. I appreciate it. Thanks, Marty, for being here. I know you're. I know it's pretty late for you too. You're 11 o'clock your time over there on the East Coast. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Much love. Thank you for hanging out in the stream. I really appreciate it, guys. You don't know how much it means to have people here that I can talk to and share things with. Thank you. And Marty, we'll talk to you later. Let me know if you need some further assistance. We can talk instruments too. If you want to come here and you want to talk about some instrument development, we can talk about that. You know, as we're flying on autopilot here between waypoints, I don't mind. But yeah, learning experience for everybody. I like it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great evening. All right, we are right at 100 miles, 99.1 miles, 99 miles, 98.8. So let's go ahead and grab the ATIS information, the current ATIS information. And again, we can't see it, but it's here. I'm definitely going to have to fix this. This was fixed last time, but I think there was an update and I updated some software, and that definitely caused some issues here. But just for grins and giggles, let me see if I can bring this up one more time. All right. Let's see, do you guys see that? Oh, look, it started working now. Now, why wasn't that working before? All right, so here on Sim Toolkit, you can see what we were talking about. You can see the controllers, right? Sim Toolkit was telling me that the Boston controller, which is this airspace right here, was online, and it was telling me that Montreal was online, but VATSPI was not showing me that information. So he was right. We should have contacted him when we left, but there's no controller here. And here's our aircraft right here. So now let's go over here and let's look at some flight tools. And I put, did I put it in? No. So 10 results from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we can only see 10 results here. I don't need this one, and I don't need BNA, and I don't need Boston, and I don't need Asheville. I'm going to keep, I don't need Kenai. I can load that in, and I don't need CYYZ. So right here, we're going to go ahead and pop in CYHZ, right? And we're going to drop that in here so we can see what's going on there and see what the weather is looking like. So right now, the METAR information, this is what we were talking about before. It's showing that the winds are at 270 at 8 knots. We have 15 statute miles of visibility. A few clouds at 090. You add 2 zeros to that, and there's a few at 21000, and the altimeter is 3019. Now the 14/09, that's a temperature, okay? And I don't see any rain, I don't see any snow, I don't see any other weather. There's nothing in the area, no thunderstorms, no nothing like that. So we're going to go ahead and reset our altimeter. So let's pop in here, and you guys can see that. I'm going to go ahead and click on my instrument here on the barometer, and we'll close that. And from the barometer, I will choose 3019, and we're at 3024. So bring that down to 3019. That's going to adjust our altitude. We will come over here to our secondary, and we will do the same thing here. We will adjust this to 3019. Okay. So now our altimeter's been set, so we're ready. Even though we're 100 miles out, that's not going to be that big of a deal. And let's take a look at our runway information. Here, let me go ahead and bring this back up too. We can do this. And our runway information down here, looking at the same thing for runway 32, the heading is 305 for that. I can go ahead and adjust the heading when now, and I'll just pop that on there. 305. I went ahead and set the heading on 305. That's going to be the runway heading. That might be a little premature. Under normal circumstances, maybe I might not do that yet. I may keep the heading bug set on the course that we're on right now, which again is this magenta line. Our course right now is 139 degrees. I might keep the heading bug set on that. If we had a problem with the autopilot, and then we would be able to fly maybe the heading, right? If there's a problem with the GPS, we could fly the heading. And you know, if we lost the autopilot altogether, then we have a heading bug that's also set there. So that's one of the benefits of keeping that there. And some of the other tools that we have available here, of course, is, you know, going back to our live map. We can do that. And let's see. We have our checklists here that we can look at. The wind calculator is pretty cool because you can put the runway or the airport in here, such as CYHZ, and then you can pick the runway, which is runway 32, that we anticipate that we're going to be landing at because of the wind. So right now, if we landed on runway 32, that's the visual result. So that's how we're going to land. So the wind has changed a little bit, right? Because it was coming right down the runway. If we look at some of the other runways that are available, runway 05, nope, no, that's a quartering tailwind. We definitely don't want that. And this is the same way for runway 14 and runway 23. Runway 23, we could take 23. So actually 23 or 32. Either one now, right? So now our options have changed, right? Now we can do 23 or 32. And they're looking about the same. So wind speed is 8 out of 270. The wind speed is 8 out of 270. So we can really take any of these. It just depends on what we feel more comfortable at. Do we want a wind coming in from our right, or do we want a wind coming in from our left? If we had a stronger wind, this may be the better choice, because there's less angle of attack of the wind coming in, right? There's a little bit more of a crosswind component here than there is here. Just slightly. Just slightly. 5 knot crosswind from the left. 6 knot crosswind from the right. You can see it right down here. 4 knot headwind, 6 knot crosswind. 6 knot headwind, 5 knot crosswind. So you can see what the details are there. So now maybe we might look at doing something different. We might look at 23. 23 might not be a bad choice now, right? So if we come back up here and we look at our, let's see, flight tools. Live sim data. That was on the live map. Airports approach. I was pretty sure it was on the live map. I thought the live map used to have little icons down here at the bottom. But I no longer see those little icons. Maybe that changed. All right. All right, that's fine. Let's come back into the airplane. Yeah, I noticed that actually my mug covers that up. If I do this, yeah, you guys can see it right there. That's not bad. That's the way that I should pop that up there so you can see it. All right, so let's start thinking about this now, and let's go ahead and bring our altitude down to 3,000 feet. All right, we're about 50 nautical miles. So let's just start a descent at about 500 feet a minute. All right, we got to cross this body of water. We see it out there in front of us. And after we cross the body of water, then we will be kind of where we need to be. If we bring Navigraph up and we look, there we are. So we can see that right out there in front of us. There's the last stretch of water there, and then after we cross that, then we'll be headed into the airport. So let's look at our options now for runway 23. There's an ILS. So let's put the chart up there. All right, so here we can set a new waypoint. We can say we want, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's just go ahead and set this up. Let's go to procedures, right? And let's do an approach. And let's do ILS 23. And the transition is DUTIR. And let's do a preview. All right, and then let's show that on the map. All right, so that's what it's going to look like on the map. And if we zoom out, where are we? All right, let's see. DUTIR. We'll go ahead and load this up. Let's do this. All right. And then let's go. DUTIR. Oh. Why are we doing that? Let's not do that. DUTIR, ILS 23, ILS 23, DUTIR. Canada. Enter. All right, we just go ahead and set direct waypoint over to DUTIR. So we'll go ahead and fly that now. And we're about 29.2 miles from DUTIR. And we want to be at 4,000 feet when we get there. So let's go ahead and bump our altitude up to 4,000 feet. We were at 3,000 because we were climbing, so we'll go ahead and set that up now, and we're proceeding directly to that. If we look, we can see that our original flight plan line was changed because of why? Because we added a waypoint from Fren, right? So from Fren, we added a waypoint to Dieter, but the aircraft wanted to connect that waypoint to Fren, and it wanted to turn us around. So it started turning us. And what I did is I said, no, don't turn us, just go direct. So now we added another magenta line, right? And that magenta line is there. And it's active now. We're flying that, right? So when I go, then I'll go back and we'll set up, we'll set up for the approach for that. Why do you want to turn? I don't want you to turn. I do not want you to turn. I want you to just fly where you're supposed to fly. All right, I'm going to go over to heading mode. And I am going to change my heading over here. 120. All right, I'm going to fly heading mode. Turn the autopilot back on. And set our descent rate. Look at this. We might have a nice Canadian sunset behind us. Look at that. Sun is getting low in Canada. We're going to have a beautiful Canadian sunset. All right, we're about 14.2 nautical miles from Dutier. Now, according to our... Oh, you know what? I left that up there. That was lame. Let's go back outside and look at this. Look at that. There's that Canadian sunset. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I had my Navigraph chart in the way. All right, I'm gonna pull back on the throttle a little bit, and the TBM, you control the throttle. So the max speed when we arrive at Dutier is 210 knots. And we know we're gonna have to be at 200. So I'm gonna slow down to 200. All right, let's go back inside here. I'm going to go ahead and cut my landing light on. All right, we're on Unicom frequency. And we're doing about 196. That's good enough. We got a max of 200. Let me keep the speed up just a little bit more. Put a little more throttle in there. Kind of keep it where it is right now. And we can see that we're approaching our waypoint over here, Dutier. All right. Go ahead and hit that seatbelt sign. You guys back there in the back, get ready. All right, we're about 5.8 nautical miles. We need to be at 4,000 feet. And then going to oh, why is it going to do this? I don't want it to do this. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? It's going to try to be difficult. I'm just going to fly it. All right. I need to get rid of that the other waypoint over there. All right, here we go. We're coming back up to Dutier. All right. I need to be at 4,000 feet. All right, and then my next one is I need to be down at 3,000 feet. And the heading needs to be 143, right? And then 233 degrees. I'm going to slow down a little bit. All right, let's start our turn to 233 degrees. All right. All right, let's go ahead and get our gear down. Got our landing light on. Zoom in here. .5 nautical miles. All right, we're looking to, all right, here we go, flaps. So we're within flap speed, so let's go ahead and put notch of flaps in there. Now we got landing configuration. We got green, we got 3 green, got 3 green. A little bit of speed in there. We're at minimum speed. All right, go ahead and cut the autopilot off. All right, we're on Unicom, so we'll go ahead and make the call. Halifax traffic, November 65 Juliet Whiskey, turning on final for runway 23. All right, a little high. Here comes the glide slope, and we got it. So up a little low. A little low, so we'll hold it here. Remember, we got that little bit of a crosswind. And we're just a little below our glide slope if we look at that. So a little power in here, about 85 knots. It's just a little bit slow. All right, we got our landing light on, we got our gear down, we got our flaps and landing configuration. .90 knots, looking good. That little bit of crosswind. Alright, got a little bit of a crab coming in. Flare, flare, flare. And touchdown. There we go. Alright. A little bit of reverse thrust. Help us slow down. Back it off. Put it back in forward. All right, raise our flaps up. Put our taxi light on. Come over here. Look at our chart. Look at our info. Look at our airport. All right, so we can see our airport chart here. We can see where we are, and we'll go over here and get off on taxiway Charlie. All right, this is going to be taxiway Charlie for us. Halifax traffic, November 65 Juliet Whiskey. We are clear of the active on taxiway Charlie, headed to the terminal. 65 Juliet Whiskey. All right. And we will take this and we will turn and head up to the terminal. All right, this is going to be Alpha, and we'll take Alpha up to the terminal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You may gather your belongings. We will be at the terminal momentarily. I want to thank all you guys for joining us today. We really appreciate it as we complete this 5th leg of our around the world trip. We have many, many more legs to go. We are 1 or 2 legs from jumping over to Greenland and then to Iceland, where we will start in Europe. And we hope that you'll visit us for more of those. Halifax traffic, November 65 Juliet Whiskey, taxiing to the terminal via Alpha. Halifax. All right, this is going to lead us right into the terminal. We see that we had somebody flying over there. All right, we'll turn off our landing lights so we don't blind people over there at the terminal. And here's our marshaller. And here we go. Stop. All right, set our parking brake. Our flaps are up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. I very, very much greatly appreciate, again, all you guys stopping in and saying hello and talking with me as we flew this leg of the flight. Let me go ahead and silence this. Okay. It is, again, very, very much appreciated. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. It means a lot to me to have you guys here. I appreciate it. And join us on Friday for FedEx Friday. I think I'm going to be repeating a flight from Memphis to Cedar Rapids, I believe, is what my current intention is, as I did not record that last flight when we went, so I'm going to do it again so I can re-record it. It'll be in an A320, and then come join us again as we leave Halifax, and I think we're going to fly to Goose Bay on our next leg 6. I may add another one in there, don't know, but we'll see. And again, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us. I'll try to work out the problems at the beginning of the stream ahead of time so we don't have those giving us issues and giving us a little bit of a late start like we had this time. But once again, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And let's see if, you know what? Let's see if there's anybody online. Let's see. Let's see if we see somebody here. Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right, is there anybody here? Tattoo Man, let's see. Past videos. There's only a few people. Really, show 5 more channels. Mustafa, Cleared Approach, Maple Aviation, show all channels. See if I find somebody that we know, and maybe we will raid them. Let's see. Let's see who needs some help. We know we do, but we'll see if we can boost somebody out. Let's see. Let's see. Find somebody. No. No, come on. Stop. Well, I don't know. I guess we won't do it this time. But anyway, we will, let's see. Or maybe, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out how I can raid a channel. Let me see if it will let me. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I'll have to figure this out, and then we'll have to go from there. Let me see if I see one other thing here on how to do this. I thought I could do it from my channel. Creator dashboard. RAID channel. Here we go. Here we go. This is how. Now, oh, I gotta follow them. I guess I have to follow them to raid them. All right. We'll do this. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Why are you wearing glasses?